Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Healing Courageously. November is a month of thankfulness, Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Next couple months, there's a lot to be thankful for in our lives, so we just look for it a little
Yeah.
bit, right? And last week we talked about gratitude, and this week we're going to talk about.
Can I just say one thing
You
on
can
gratitude?
say like wherever you
So I just want to thank all of you out there that are participating in our 30 Days of Gratitude Challenge. Just as a reminder, this is going to go on throughout the whole month of November. So every day, post on Facebook, your social media accounts, what you're grateful for each day. And make sure that you tag Healing Courageously with that. So I get gratitude just reading them. So it's kind of nice to be able to see that everybody else is out there doing it along with us. So
it is
it's
nice
awesome.
to see that people are
Yeah.
participating in. I know I've been doing a gratitude list for about a month now, and it's really, well, you told me the other day.
It has changed him.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's something that you can do every day if you want.
Yeah,
but,
it doesn't have to just be the month of Thanksgiving for
No.
30 days.
So
It's something to implement in your daily routine
hopefully the challenge will get it going so they could do it.
continuously.
Even through Christmas. Okay?
Yeah.
Because we know the holidays are tough for a lot of people, and that's kind of why we're doing these podcasts.
Mhm.
The next couple months will be all around this. So today
What are we talking about today?
we're going to talk about family.
Family in the holidays. That can be
Yes.
challenging, but it also can be rewarding. There's good and bad
Exactly.
in that.
Right. The one thing that we used to do, especially in my early journey in recovery, was, well, actually, we did a lot with just our immediate nuclear family. I
Yeah.
had to do that for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and my family was very accepting of that. They wanted to see dad and husband, get sober and live a better life. And so for about a year, I don't want to say we isolated. We just kind of kept away from
The big
for
family
the big
event.
family
Big
events and
family
stuff,
events,
right?
especially the events where the family gatherings where a lot of drinking was taking place.
Right.
We had to make sure that we helped Randy in his first year of sobriety, and we also had to help him recover those periods of time where he was maybe a little weaker in the moment.
Yeah.
You had to get to that place where we needed to make sure we were on that journey with him so that he felt safe and felt secure in where
Right.
he was, because there was a lot of change taking place that first year.
A lot of change taking place, and we're also not naive to the fact that, I always say this. I really feel I'm one of the luckier families, luckier recovering men, because a lot of people don't have the support that I have.
Right, yeah.
In
No,
my
it takes.
early journey, it takes time. There's been so much damage done, and so these holidays can be especially lonely and even shaming to a point, because it's like, man, I can't believe I did this, and so on. So it's really important that we talk about this today.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of the things we used to do I think it was the first year that
The
we
first full
really
year, yeah.
really isolated, and my whole family knew what we were doing, so it wasn't like we weren't talking to them. We didn't have, the Christmas and Thanksgiving events. They knew why we weren't attending outside of our home.
Yeah.
But then that second year, we started attending more events. But when it come to the holidays, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, what we did is we opened up our home, because there's a lot of people that are in recovery, especially in the early journeys of recovery, that they might be across the country in some kind of recovery center from their family. They might be estranged from their family at this point in time. So we opened up our home to our immediate family, and then plus to the recovery world, to the recovery family. And
Yeah.
we just invited people that, hey, what are you doing Thanksgiving? I don't know. My wife's on the other side of the state. She's not coming here. All these different things we hear. We said, you know what? Why don't you just come to our house?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I understand that we were a little more fortunate than a lot of people, but still, there's a lot of people out there that are probably more than willing to open up their homes. And to those people, I would say this. This is really important. What they need is a family atmosphere. Please don't lecture them about their abuse, about their alcohol abuse or the drug abuse or any of that. make them feel more like they're a family member.
Yeah.
Make them feel like they're at home, right? Because that's what they're craving. That's what they need.
They want that community,
they
that
want the
healthy
community.
community, and that's what we've got to. That's the environment I felt that we were able
Right.
to create. Plus, it allowed me to be that entertaining wife. I love to have friends and family over. I love to
Right.
entertain. So it gave me an opportunity to have some normalcy in a new environment. Let's call it that, because it was all new. We were all learning to make adjustments that first year. So. It was good for me as the non-alcoholic spouse to be able to offer that to yourself and to
Right.
our community of family and friends.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of steps we have to take as if we're new on the journey to recovery. I understand it. Cathy understands it thoroughly. That there could be a lot of confusion, a lot of sadness, a lot of shame might come up. But we want you to know that it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to feel angry and to feel hurt about this, okay? And don't let anybody tell you get over it, grow up,
no.
you did it.
Or that you
Any of
shouldn't feel
or
angry.
you shouldn't
yeah.
feel it. No, nobody knows how you should feel. Nobody knows what you've gone through. So
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you it's okay to be angry, right, and hurt about not having family around you during the holidays, okay? But don't exert that anger into your friends or your recovery family or the people that have invited you over or to your church family. Find somebody that you can talk to when you're angry, right? And just sit down and talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Just really, the longer we hold on to our anger, it just bruises this resentment.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to relapse, right? Because we're just holding on to this stuff and it's just like a big boiling pot in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay that you're angry, but release it. Let the people around you know how you feel and let them love you back. Let them love you until you can love yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
That's okay. Don't feel bad about that.
Yeah, and I think that just comes down to, finding a coping mechanism that works for you when those negative emotions come up.
Right.
It's overwhelming sometimes. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little coping mechanisms that you might have learned on your journey, but things that I know that have worked for us is writing. My girls know that they have to journal, and that's part of that's in their toolbox of recovery.
Right.
Is to journal about how you're feeling. Just maybe even write a letter to that person that you're upset with. You don't have to send it, but you need to release yourself by writing that letter.
Write it and read it to your coach, your therapist, your mentor,
find somebody that you trust, that you're comfortable with.
Right.
The other thing you can do is go for a quick brisk walk or a run. Maybe walk to the park. Look at your environment. Look at the things around you. Get yourself out, exerting yourself so that you can get some of that pent up frustration and anger out of your system. Boxing, things like that. There's a lot of little things you can do that will help you to relieve yourself of some of those things. And then also, prayer. Prayer always works. If you can just get yourself into a quiet place where you can just say, God, release me of these things. I don't need to carry this. This is yours to carry. And so truly release those out into God so that he can handle and take care of that stuff for you. He'll walk with you. He'll journey with you. He's not going to remove it. He's going to require our action. And these coping mechanisms of writing and journaling, walking out, brisk walk, exercise, and prayer, God's going to do all of that right there with you.
And then also, let's not forget about mindful meditation. Richard Rohr gives a really good example of this, and I really, really like this. So, we're walking around and possibly we've got all these negative emotions and feelings and thoughts and words coming around in our head, right? Just imagine, go somewhere quiet and sit down and close your eyes. Then imagine you're sitting on a river, right? A peaceful river, and the water only flows one way. It can never go backwards, right? So as you're sitting there trying to meditate, and it takes practice, and all of a sudden I see what you did, you blew it with your whole family. That thought comes in, don't fight the thought. Let it come in and pretend that there's a boat on the river in front of you.
That's good.
Right? And cast that thought, put that thought on that boat, right? And name that boat negative attitude or whatever you want to name it. And just let it go. Watch it go down the river and don't bring it back in. what happens a lot of times in meditation, we fight the thoughts that are coming
That's
in
really
our head.
good. That's good.
And we can't fight them. We've got to let them go.
Yeah.
I'm depressed today. Well, again, put it on that boat and let it go. And are you truly depressed, or are you just sad?
Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's different ways you can
yeah,
work.
and I think one other thing is in addition to those coping mechanism, those tools, is make a list of positive attributes about yourself.
Yes.
Who you are, who God has created you to be. Because when we start looking at all the positive things, we find out that there's more positive. It far outweighs the negatives in our life. So just as one other coping mechanism is just take some time to write out what those attributes are. And maybe even not just list them, but write about them. Why is that a good attribute?
Right.
Why am I a good mom? And then list the things, write about those things.
Right.
Why am I a good sister? Why am I a good aunt? Those are so important too. We really need to have self-reflection during the holidays.
And early on, it's sometimes, and even later on, it's hard to write down, what do you mean attributes? I'm worthless. Look at all the damage. No, man. Just, you got a lot of positive in you. So don't negate the first positive thought. Write it on paper.
Yeah.
Right? Don't negate it. If it comes to your head, then write it down on the paper. Let the negative thoughts go.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. What else you got?
Well, here's a big one that I was told by my mentors, and that when we first started integrating ourselves back in the family, and even up until today, I will do. So you have an entrance and an exit plan. Okay. A lot of time, the entrance plan is you show up a little bit late. Or you show up a little bit early, say hi to everybody, you kind of sit down, right? Especially early on. But the big one is the exit plan. Oh, and also make sure that your mentor, your sponsor, your coach, your therapist, whoever that you're working with, right? Make sure they know you're going to this event that you're going to be uncomfortable at.
Yeah.
As silly as it might seem, it's very important, right? And have everybody's phone number in your phone.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to share a little bit about how you handled that with our niece's wedding?
That's what I'm leading up to right now. And so the first big event we went to was my niece's cousin. She's cousin, yeah.
But she's like our kid's age, so she's like a niece.
Went to their wedding, and again, there's a lot of drinking in that part of my family. They just have fun. They don't cause no problem. They just like to drink. And so I was real nervous about going to it. Yeah, my sponsor knew, my therapist knew, everybody knew.
This is just a little over a year into your...
Just about a year, a little over a year into my recovery. And so what I did is, when I got there, I went in a little nervous. And I think before the wedding started, I even went out and talked to my sponsor a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And they go, okay, just I'm here if you need me, so on and so forth. So we went in. Actually, I saw my brother there, which I hadn't seen for a long time, and I actually ended up making an amends to him for being a punk big brother when we were growing up. So that worked out okay. But the exit plan is that, okay, it's time to go. I'm uncomfortable. People are drinking. Shoulders going over, the arms going over the shoulder. I can't. I gotta leave now. I'm just uncomfortable with what's going around. Now remember, this is early recovery, and so Cathy was on board, and so we would leave.
And I'll just say it was hard. It was hard for me at first because I am such a people person, family person, that I didn't want to leave, but I needed to honor my husband and where he was at that time, and I still do today. But I just want people to know that it's not always easy being the spouse of somebody who's struggling, but it is important to support them. Even when it's not fun sometimes, it's important to support you. I still do.
Yeah. And it's, this wedding was far away from our home. So if you're local, right, and there's a wedding or whatever you're going to, then, let somebody know, hey, I might need a ride home. If Cathy was the kind of wife to go, no, you're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to do whatever you got to do. I don't care. I'm not leaving early, right? And that they're out there.
That's okay.
That's okay.
If that's what works.
That's what works, and get a ride back to the hotel that you might be staying at, and don't be mad at your wife, because she's not the one with the problem, right? Or he's not the one with the problem. It's a wife and a husband, and the wife's the alcoholic, right? Or reach out to one of your friends in a program, one of your mentors, one of your coaches, whatever, and have them come pick you up. Let them know I might need a ride home. It's okay to ask for help, men.
Mm-hmm.
And
Women.
also women.
Women.
Okay? Don't just swallow your pride. It's okay.
Yeah.
People, I've heard the word, well, my husband's awful selfish. He's always going to AA meetings. Before it used to be a bar and he was never home. Now he's at AA meetings and he's never home. It's like, well, do you like who he is today? Well, yeah. Well, then maybe you should stop complaining.
And you know what? Yeah, that was an area that I struggled a little bit at the beginning, but I learned to like being by myself. I was not a person that wanted to be by myself.
Oh, it's hard.
It was hard, but I learned to have that quality time with self, and
Right.
that was one of the things that I took. Talking about self,
Yeah.
one of the things that's super important is isolation. Don't isolate
Right.
yourself just because you're estranged from your family or you struggle with your family. There are so many people that are on this journey with you if you allow yourself to have them into your lives. Randy mentioned early on that first year recovery, we had several people coming into our house that were not family members. And I think that very first Christmas, we had about 40 people at our house. We circled up to pray before we ate. And as I looked around, I would say 3/4 of them that were there were all in recovery.
Yeah.
So don't isolate yourself. Isolation is such a dangerous place to be. There are family, or there are friends, I should say, that if you have to kind of step out. Randy said, don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes it might require saying, hey, I don't want to be with my family for this holiday. What are you doing? Can I come with you? I mean, that is really hard to do, but it's also one of the best things you can do for yourself. So don't sit and squabble in your isolation, because it will get into your head, and that will be an area of a potential relapse, whether it's a drug and alcohol codependency. I mean, it can be a really dangerous, slippery slope to be in isolation.
And if you're in any kind of recovery, most recovery groups on the holidays, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, they will have a big Thanksgiving feast at their meeting place.
Right. Everybody bring a dish type thing.
I know it's hard, and it's hard. It might be hard to comprehend, but that is your family right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not your nuclear family. We understand that, but that family right there understands you better than anybody else is ever going to understand you at that point in time. Or you've got a local soup kitchen, right? Go in there and just be a part of. I mean, go in there and like my mentor told me one time. He says, Randy, just go out to a coffee shop, go to a restaurant, just sit, be quiet, listen, and watch.
And there's a lot of homeless places. I mean, you said something too. There's shelters, there's homeless places that you can volunteer and talk about getting out of self. That would be a beautiful thing to be able to offer your services to somebody who is in need, greater need than you feel that you are.
Exactly.
And there's so many of those in every community.
And look, don't put yourself below or above homeless, man. Do not do that, because
humble yourself.
A lot of those homeless people, they just had a bad shake in life. Some of them want to be there. Yeah, granted, that's the life they chose.
But they could be you and I.
They could be you. Yeah, I mean, Cathy and I could be homeless. I mean, God forbid we never will be. But, so, and then the church also, local churches will always help out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't have to be alone during the holidays. And I understand the feeling of being with people that are really that are really pouring into you, and they're part of your life. They want to be there for you, but yet still feeling so lonely because you don't have your family there.
Yeah.
Nothing can replace family.
No, and I think the biggest thing to remember in all of this is that the holidays don't last forever.
Right.
We're talking a window of time where you might be from noon to 5 o'clock. That's 5 hours of your day, and then it's over. Or it's over sooner if you decide that it's not a comfortable environment for you. So, holidays are just a culture, but it's only a few weeks out of the year. And a few weeks out of the year is all holidays. But if we're talking specifically of Thanksgiving, it might be 6 hours, it might be 8 hours, and then it's over with. So if we are prepared well, if we have reached out to a sponsor, a mentor, a therapist, somebody that we journey with and let them know where we're going to be. And if we do these tools of writing about it, getting the feelings out, getting the emotions out. Even in the middle of the day, if you're at a family member's house and you just need a break, say, hey, I'm going to go for a walk. Go take your walk. Get that brisk walk out. It will be over before you know it. It will not last forever. And that should bring peace to you too, knowing that there is a beginning and an end to this holiday that might feel uncomfortable, might feel there might be some fear in it. It will end. It will pass.
And the emotions and the feelings might hang on.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question that they might fall. They might hang on.
Yeah.
But hopefully, after the holidays, you'll have a process group you can talk with, or you can talk with.
Contact us.
Contact us. ChangeYourLifeStoryNow.com. Contact us. I mean, we've been in your shoes. Believe it or not. We're not just a couple people that have gone to a lot of school and got a lot of book knowledge.
Mm-mm.
We got PhDs in life.
PhDs?
PhDs in life.
I like those
right?
PhDs.
PhDs in life. Literally. I mean, there's a saying that Cathy and I live by, and it's in the big book of AA, and it's also somewhere in the Bible, worded differently, but it's this: you cannot transmit something you do not have, right? I might not be you, Cathy might not be you, but we've experienced a lot of the same things that you have experienced. We don't know exactly how you feel, but we know how loneliness feels, and we know what it can be like to work through these holidays by yourself.
Yeah.
It's no joke. It's hard. It's okay that you hurt. It's okay that you're angry. It's okay that you feel sad. Okay? Find somebody you can talk with and talk it out. It's very important. And you're not, I think what's really important for you or anybody as somebody that might be going through this is that make sure if you sit down and talk, say, I just need to talk. I'm not looking for feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I got all this stuff weighing me down. I just need to get rid of it.
Right.
Right? Because a lot of people have these very well-intended intentions of helping you with unsolicited advice that can actually do more harm.
Yeah.
Right? And I know what I wanted, what Cathy wanted, what every person we work with wants, just to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Validate the feelings, be
Right.
heard. Just, be on the journey with us
Right.
is what it is.
Yeah.
And, community, especially during the times of holiday, is so, so important. And I think that that's where you have to make sure that you are making a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice to create the community that best fits your needs at that time of your life during the holidays. And it may not be your family, and that's okay. It
Right.
doesn't have to be your family. That will come possibly in time if everybody works at it. But create the community that is in the best interest for you where you are at that time.
Exactly.
I think that's what's important. So, anything else you want to add to this?
Well, there's two things. One is, I often get people, both the women and the men. Randy, I don't know what to do with these feelings right now. How do I deal with these feelings? And the answer is simple, but not comfortable.
Not easy.
Not easy. The answer is just sit with them. They're not going to hurt you. Yeah. They're just feelings that more than likely you've never felt before, or when you started feeling them, you anesthetize them with with drugs, alcohol, sex, money,
food, whatever that is.
Whatever, you just stuffed them, right? And so you've never felt them before. So they're uncomfortable. So it's okay. Again, find somebody to talk to. Having somebody to talk to is so. Look at men and women. Swallow your pride.
Yeah, and just like the holidays will pass, those feelings will pass. They
pass.
Don't last forever. No. They may come and go.
Yeah.
But the holidays come and go as well.
Right,
so
exactly.
Let your feelings sit with you, process through them. You don't need to act on them. You don't need to respond to them. Just allow them to pass through.
Right. And you're going to hear this from me probably between now and Christmas. What I'm going to say next is that, I can remember the first big Thanksgiving we had at the house. It was shortly after Cathy's mom had passed. We had a big event over there. And all of a sudden, and I've been working on the 11-step prayer, the prayer of St. Francis. My sponsor had me doing a 30-day read on it. And all of a sudden, I saw Cathy getting uptight. I go, Randy, go pray, right? Because she got uptight and get uptight, right? And when I was praying, it came to me the last part of towards the last part of the prayer of St. Francis that said this, and it stuck to me really. I mean, it's still in my head. It said, it's better to love than to be loved. It's better to understand than to be understood. Better to love than to be loved, and better to understand than be understood. And so I left my prayer room with that in my mind for the rest of the day. Yeah. And it went 100%. 100% was a better day than it could have been. So, yeah, but what about me? I want to be understood. I want to be loved. I promise you, okay, this is where we have to step out of our old selfish ways and think about the other person. Yeah. It's part of recovery, right? Just love them and understand them and treat them with love and understanding, and you're going to get it back tenfold.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that in those moments when we think, well, I want the love back, I know that if I love, I get love. If I understand, I get understood. Right. So it does come back tenfold. Yeah. So that's good. So we know this holiday, Thanksgiving, is a time for thankfulness. Sometimes you may not be as thankful as you want to be yet, but that's okay. You're on that journey. And if you are there, embrace it all. Take it all in. Sit around your table. Share what you're thankful for.
Grab somebody and pull them along the ride.
Yeah, if you have somebody that you know that may not be, or maybe was in your shoes, previously, bring them along. Yeah. Show them the ropes. Show them what it looks like to be healthy in recovery. Yep. So if you have any questions, you know that we're always going to be here for you. Our website is changeyourlifestorynow.com. You can check that out. We do have different packages, life coaching packages that you'll find there. We have marriage counseling, pre-marriage counseling, SYMBIS, where Randy is a SYMBIS certified coach as well.
Trauma-informed life coach.
Trauma-informed. So yeah, there's several different things that are available to you depending on what your needs are. So we just ask that you check that out. You can also check out the website. You can sign up for a 30-minute free consultation just to see if there's something that you need to work on, or you have something you need to work on. Sign up for that 30-minute free consultation, and then we can go from there. We want to make sure that we are able to help you. We've been on this journey for quite a few years ourselves.
17.
And it's one of those things where I wish I had a lot of these tools growing up. I wish I was born with some of these tools. Right. But unfortunately, we're not. But they're available to us now. Right. And so we want to be able to pass that on and share that with you. So I think that's all we have. Thank you, guys.
Also, the Courageous Healers, you want to real quick just
touch on that? We've also got our foundation, the Courageous Healers Foundation, which is a 401c 501c. Gosh, I'm in the wrong place today. 501c nonprofit corporation, where we help men, women, children, families from the scars of abuse, whether it be physical, emotional, sexual, spiritual. It's a journey that Randy has been on his entire life since he was 13 years old. Yeah. And he has had it in his heart. God has placed it in his heart, and he was prophesied over that he would be helping men. And so that is what he has been called to do. And because of his scars and the things that he's had to journey through, it has affected us as a family. So we as a family have been on board with it as well, because we know that just like addiction, abuse also affects the family. So we're here to help families as well. We are seeking donations to keep our nonprofit up and running. If you have it on your heart to make a donation, whether it be $5, $10, a monthly donation, one-time donation, please visit. You can connect to the Change Your Life through changeyourlifestorynow.com to the Courageous Healers Foundation. All donations are tax deductible, so we encourage you to do that. And you will also find Randy's book, Healing the Wounded Child Within, at the website, and it's also available on Kindle.
It's on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and Audible. And it's in Spanish as well.
Yes.
It took a while to get it, but we got it out.
We've got it. And so we encourage you to reach out. We're here for you. We love you guys.
Yep.
Anything else I missed?
No, I think that's it. Just
So much.
we want you to know too that Change Your Life Story Now and Courageous Healers Foundation are two complete separate entities.
Yeah.
They're
not intermingled. They
they're
just
not intermingled, right.
they help. Each one helps each other
Exactly.
in the journey. So
Okay.
all right.
You got it?
I got it.
On family?
Yeah, got it on family.
And hey, we are definitely, Cathy and I and my children, we are definitely we are evidence of what doing recovery, we're a success story in recovery, because it was not good before I got in recovery.
And nor was it easy.
Nor was it easy.
But the work is worth it, I promise you that.
Exactly. So,
yep.
All right, so remember, well, first of all, we'll see you on we'll talk to you on the next episode. If you see us on YouTube, we'll see you on the next episode of Healing Courageous. But remember this, if nobody tells you they love you today, Randy does.
Cathy does.
But more importantly, God does.
Be blessed,
everybody. Be blessed, everybody. Keep safe. Keep a smile on your face. And be loved. Oh, be blessed.
This has been Healing Courageously with Randy Boyd. We will have a new episode every Monday. Please like us on iTunes or Google Play. If you would like to know more about the services available from Randy, please visit him at changeyourlifestorynow.com. Thank you for spending time with us. We'll see you next week. And remember, if nobody tells you they love you today, Randy does.